The Capital Brew Podcast with 20 North Dave and Nick Lee. What's brewing in the 518?
Well, this is another episode of Capital Brew Podcast. This time, I find myself with a new co-host, Brian Conley.
Hi.
The head brewer over at 7 Points Brewing.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Thank you for filling in today. The reason why I did bring you on for today's episode is because you know our guest very, very well. I believe you went to school with him.
He taught me everything I know. Definitely not everything he knows. Yeah.
Don't blame me.
So we have Rich and Stacy on with us today. So you guys have Rich. Obviously, we've interviewed you before with when you were with your time over at Frog Alley as head brewer over there, and then you went on and did some consulting, correct?
Yeah, I was working for an equipment manufacturer. I still do a lot of work with them, installing and setting up breweries and teaching people how to run them, solving problems, and all sorts of phone calls, all sorts of hours.
Awesome.
What kind of equipment are you selling?
I'm working with IDD, so we do brewing and process equipment. So
Yeah.
we do pasteurizers. I just had a pasteurizer in Texas.
You doing
Where
the
in
mash
Texas?
presses or?
Mash filters,
Yeah.
pasteurizers, keg lines,
That's cool.
a little bit of everything.
You get to travel a lot for that too, right? Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes. My last trip to Texas, I was nice enough to bring back COVID for my wife.
Oh, what a kind gift.
That was not fun at all.
Where in Texas were you?
I was just north of Houston, in Conroe, Texas.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Conroe. I have an aunt who lives in Conroe, the big lake there.
It was heat index of 110 every day.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
And that was in January.
Yeah. No, I used to live in College Station, which is about 45 minutes from there, northwest of there. I have cousins that live in I have one that lives in the Woodlands, not too far from Monroe in Conroe, Texas. I've got family. I have a cousin that owns a bunch of bars in Houston and a bunch of yoga places throughout Texas. I've got
a mix.
Yeah, I've got family in Houston, Dallas, all over Texas.
Oh,
I spent a lot of time in Texas.
next time I'm heading that way, I'll let you know.
All right, sounds good. So Stacy is your wife.
Yes.
And so today we're at Second Act Spirits, which is right here in Amsterdam. What got you and your wife into like starting this joint venture?
Well, you mentioned travel. I do an awful lot of travel, and I'd rather not be stuck in airports all the time.
Gotcha.
And, we had owned a business before in the Catskills. It was a small brew restaurant that served a lot of craft beer. We installed a small brewery there and sold that to my sister. And we've moved around the country too many times. And, I'm working with a lot of brewers and distillers. And then if I'm doing that kind of work, I might as well work for myself and with my wife. So
Awesome. And how has it been? Stacy, starting up this brewery. What's been some of the
Been a very challenging but fun experience.
nice?
Yeah. It's enjoyable to get to spend more time together and do something together.
That's
Yeah.
that's for sure. That's awesome. Like, what is there like a tie to Amsterdam? Was there a reason why you chose Amsterdam, or is it just a opportunity?
yeah, opportunity. We've driven through this area a million times. I'd spent 10 years out at FX Mat in Utica.
Yep.
And her mother was over in the Saratoga area, so we've driven past this building hundreds of times.
yeah.
It's the Route 67 is right down the end of the block here.
Yeah.
So
Drop off the kids on the way to vacation.
Yeah, 67 going up to like the lake and.
Drop off the kids on the way to vacation. So
Right.
you didn't take them with you.
sometimes.
Occasionally.
Well, it's not-
Occasionally we
It's just really not much of a vacation, And you gotta.
Well, you got to be
for
somewhat.
us it was.
You got to be somewhat excited for what's starting to look like something's beginning to happen here in the downtown Amsterdam area. You've got Schwalbacher that just opened up, the German brewery. Did a podcast with them a few weeks ago, and we went to their grand opening. It was, it's. I mean, you're a short walk from there. You've got the billiard place that's been there for a while, but it seems like something is now starting to spark or wiggle in Amsterdam. Did that play into the decision?
Yeah, over the years, I've done a lot of beer events in the area here. There's a lot of stuff going on in the park down by the river.
Oh yeah, the Riverfront Park is beautiful down there.
Yeah, and they've done beer
Yeah.
festivals and things like that for years. And people in town here come out to local events.
Yeah.
People really want to support local. And we've been here. We opened up just over a month ago, but we've been knocking on doors out here for 6 months, and we've been doing events and pouring samples at golf tournaments, and people are pretty excited to have something going on here.
Nice.
The community's been very receptive. The other businesses in town have been really welcoming. It's really, really refreshing to see, really nice.
How has the first few weeks gone?
It's been really good. We've had a lot of new people in the doors, a lot of people coming in through like craft beverage trails, and it's been really nice.
Awesome.
Nice steady flow.
Brian, is this your first time here?
Yes. Yeah, enjoying it. Not my first time having his beverages, though.
No, for sure.
I think my favorite time, you can definitely tell that this couple puts in the legwork to try and get their product around. And my God, what was that? That random Sunday morning, you were sampling Heather over at Bittersweet Candy on some vodka.
We were over your way, and we stopped in to pick up some chocolates, and happened to have a bottle with us. And
Yeah, I was on my way to the bar to watch some football for the day.
Nice.
I'm feeling a little full from the night before still, and I just walked into the candy shop just to say hi to Heather, and next thing I know, I have a shot in my hand, and
For sure.
and on my merry way I went after that. Rich got me primed up for the day, so I was feeling no pain after that. So
Awesome. So yeah, you do have somewhat of it looks like you've got a little bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? So you have a little bit of a team thing going on with Bittersweet. Some synergy is the word I was looking for that's going on with
we've
Bittersweet.
known Heather for years, and she makes some great products, and she actually makes a product for us we should sample a little bit later. She makes an old-fashioned chocolate.
Oh, for sure.
It's got orange peel, dried cherries, and coffee beans that are aged in a bourbon barrel.
I'm in.
sounds
And
amazing.
bitters.
And bitters.
Yes.
Oh man.
So it really tastes like
The whole-
old-fashioned chocolate bar. Yeah.
Yes.
It's the whole
really-
cocktail in dark chocolate.
Really
Oh my God.
amazing.
Next time I have an old fashioned, I'll have to have a piece of the chocolate with it.
We're gonna have to try one a little bit later.
That's how we serve it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Every old-fashioned comes with a little bar of chocolate on the side.
Just
That's the best deal in town, man.
Everybody's been asking us, are you start selling the chocolate separate? So let's talk to Heather about that,
That
though.
almost makes me want to have like a cigar with it too. I feel like that's a pretty good combination.
That's going to be
chocolate.
a lot of good flavors right there.
Dark chocolate, the old fashioned, and like a darker cigar.
Yeah. Like a nice dark wrap dessert cigar to go along with it. Yeah.
We got. Do you guys have like an outdoor patio or?
We do not.
Okay.
We're going to have to get creative with that at some point if we're going to do that.
Yeah.
We're here in the Clock Tower building, which is a really cool old building. It's about 102 years old.
Wow.
This was part of the old carpet mill facility, and later on became part of Coleco. So they made electronics here, kids,
Wow.
video games, and
Nice.
Cabbage Patch dolls, and all that good stuff.
That's crazy. I never knew that was made here.
We've had some couples. There was a couple here that was at our opening that met on the job here when they worked for Coleco 40 years ago.
Wow.
And they, the gentleman had actually worked in this room.
Yeah.
And they said, "I see you fixed the floor over there." And his wife had worked upstairs soldering motherboards for ColecoVision.
Yeah, I was gonna say Coleco. I had ColecoVision. Yeah.
And then she transferred to a different department across the street and made Cabbage Patch dolls after that. But they're 40 years later, they still live in the neighborhood. And they picked up a bottle of gin 2 weeks ago.
That's got to be so cool for them to walk through this place and just see the changes,
Yeah, it was pretty cool. They were sitting there kind of quietly talking to each other and not.
Like looking at the building.
Yeah, and I went over to introduce myself. Like, what are you guys doing here? What brought you guys in? And they wanted to tell me every story they could about it.
Wow.
It was great.
Is it haunted?
Not that we know of, but we've been
You'll
here
find
all
out.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything strange, and we haven't heard any stories
But
about that.
we do hear voices and we do hear footsteps and
Yeah, but that's people that work
It's just
here.
the locals.
yeah,
You never know.
Yeah, it never seems like it's totally empty.
Yeah. Yeah, before I started the podcast, I had just picked this up from the Psychics on the Scene podcast with Katie Manning.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Michelle and Dee, and they used this last night, literally at I want to say the rural Albany Cemetery.
You didn't bring anything new, did you? Right?
It's possible. They said they were gonna clear it, and I actually went with them. I worked with the Leah Auto Group a few years ago in their marketing department, and I did this video series called Ghost Wranglers, where we took a Jeep Wrangler and we wrapped it up to make it look like it was this really nice rescue vehicle, I guess, like as a first response vehicle, and we would go around to these different haunted places, and we actually went to the Albany Rural Cemetery, and it was the very first one we did, and it was 2016. It was around this time. It was October, 8 years ago, and we're heavy into the political season and getting ready for the president's election. So
Yay.
the joke, yeah, I know. I was sick of it then too. I'm sick of it now. I'm sick of it then. But I thought, I was like, if we can go talk to ghosts, Chester A. Arthur is buried there. Let's see if we can get his 2 cents on the political climate now compared to he didn't show up, but apparently a soldier. Like a Confederate soldier was marching back and forth in front of like a spirit soldier, is what I was told. And then I was told that I came in contact with a demon and that he attached to me, and it was a pretty scary demon. But they were able to clear.
I don't know. I think it would explain your mood lately. So.
Yeah. Prepping for the wedding and all that stuff had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah. Hey, better that it was on you and not on Jess.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, that could have been bad.
Yeah.
I think Bridezillas are bad. Bride demons are really bad.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
But either way, it'd be interesting if we do like a cross podcast, have them come over and see if we can find any spirits here in this 102-year-old building in downtown Amsterdam. So let's kind of go back to your history. I know that before you left Frog Alley, you were in the middle of building what I believe was a continuous still.
That's a column still that we put in there.
Yeah.
It's basically you could do a variety of products on that. You could do whiskey, you could do vodkas, you can do brandies, a little bit of everything.
And is that the kind of still that you're working with now?
We're doing something a little bit more traditional. We're doing a pot still for our stripping run, and then our spirit run, we're using a small column.
Okay.
Do a little bit of polishing.
Nice. And for Stacy, I know the gin is your secret family recipe. Is that correct?
No, not exactly. It was something that I made kind of as a tribute to my dad. He inspired me to be creative from the time I was really young.
That's
it was just he loved to garden. He loved did interior decorating for a while. He just always inspired me to be creative. So I wanted to. His favorite cocktail was gin and tonic, and so I wanted to create a gin that would honor him, and that's how I got Dad's Garden Gin, to honor both the gardening and the fact that he loved the gin.
Oh, it's so cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think we're going to pause real quick. All right. We're back in action. All right, so we left off. This was an ode to your father, who
his favorite cocktail was a gin and tonic.
Nice.
And he was an avid gardener, so I wanted to make a botanical gin that was a little different, more of a new age gin. He obviously, was more Beefeater, London Dry.
I was going to ask what he
gin.
likes, yeah.
Yeah, but I think he would have really enjoyed this one too.
Oh,
And-
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this. I'm a big gin drinker. I was probably a gin drinker. I definitely was a gin drinker way longer than before I started drinking bourbon. I have had some of the best gins in the world. Dingle. I was in Ireland, went to the Dingle Distillery. They're known for having, I think they've won multiple times, like the best, gin, in a lot of different categories, or a lot of different what's the word I'm looking for? My brain is shot today. Organizations has voted them one of the better gins in the world. There's this German gin, which is the name of that is escaping me right now, but is known for being a very good gin. I was at the distillery in Middleton, Ireland, outside of Cork, known as Jameson. And they actually...
Never heard of them.
Yeah, I know. It took me a second. Wow.
You're wearing their shirt, man.
I know. I should have looked down at the shirt. They have a program there where they have students, interns come in, and they basically let them loose to either to brew whatever they want, or distill whatever they want. It could be vodka, it could be gin, it can be bourbon or whiskey, Irish whiskey. And they're basically just blank check, go have at it. They have a little test program over there for their students. And
Can anyone join? This sounds fun.
I know. And they end up keeping 2 or 3 students every session. They pick some of the best interns. They go through a huge process to get there. And once they get there, they'll only keep like 2 or 3 of them out of like 10, 15 of them. So they produced a gin there, and I'm sure they've probably done multiple, but it was one of the best gins I've ever had. Your gin, and there's another gin on, it's not Racket River, but it's in Kennebunk, Maine. Kennebunkport. It's actually in the port.
Yeah.
There's a brewery there, not the original shipyard brewery was there, but around the corner is another brewery, which name is escaping me right
Sea
now.
Dog?
No, it starts with an R. It's not Racket River. But either way, they make a gin, and it's one of my favorite gins. So between the Dingle, that German gin, the Method of Madness gin, and the mystery gin in Maine, yours is up there, if not the best out of all that I've had.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a very
really-
impressive gin.
Thank you. I spent quite a bit of time trying to create a, I guess, perfect balance, trying to, and I'm pretty happy with it at this point. And there's other ones that I'm working on as well. So.
For sure. And it's funny, it's not to overhype it, and I don't want to put obviously a lot of pressure on that. I think that the flavor profile between the flavors that you do have in here, the lavender, I've always leaned towards having lavender with gin. So much so that I actually have like lavender simple syrup at my house.
Right, I wanted that to be the focus, so I did keep the recipe pretty simple, so that it didn't get too complicated.
But the flavor profile fits me, and that's why I think it's and the gin itself is a very clean gin. It's you can tell it's very smooth too as far as gins go. So
Nick's having a gin and tonic right now.
I am.
Yeah.
I am. What are you having?
I'm having the Lavender Rain.
And what is in the lavender? Rain?
That also has their new gin in it. Yeah.
What else is in the lavender rain?
There is just a little bit of lemon and seltzer and a secret ingredient to make it purple.
Okay.
Secret.
Secret.
Very secret. We're not giving that one up.
No.
So.
And it's not simple syrup. It's too purpley for that.
And Stacy, I think you have the Bee's Knees cocktail
Yes.
in front of you right now,
Yep.
right?
That is a honey syrup and lemon. It's a very classic cocktail. And the honey syrup, we get the honey from a local farm. So again, community resources. We love to use as many local ingredients as we can.
Yeah.
And the farm that supplies the honey for her cocktail also grows the lavender and elderflowers that are in the gin as well.
Oh, that's
Nice.
so cool.
Local farm?
Yes, they're on Rob Road.
Yep, Sunny Honey Farms.
Nice.
You guys were beekeeping yourselves for a while there, weren't you?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
We did have a few hives back
Yeah.
when we lived in Utica. And, we didn't bring them along with us to Schenectady, but
The queen didn't want to move.
no, the
No.
kids took care of them for a bit, and unfortunately they didn't make it through one of the winters. And
Oh, boy.
where we are now is a little populated, and then some of the neighbors might be a little weirded out by that many bees.
Yeah, we had a couple acres, at the house
Yeah.
near Utica, and here I'm just, afraid that the neighbors wouldn't be
The
so
kids
happy.
next door are allergic,
Right.
What got you into beekeeping in the first place?
I wanted to make mead.
Okay. what kind of alcoholic beverage haven't you made?
I don't think there's
Kefir?
anything. We made wine like the first year we were married.
Yeah, if
Kombucha.
I've not done that.
There we go. I found one.
You know that's going to be his next business venture
No,
now,
I
right?
first said kefir too. I don't know if anybody heard that. I didn't know. Have you done kefir before?
No, but I've consumed vodka made out of milk products.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. Like cow milk or?
Yeah, there's a distillery out in Western New York right now that's producing vodka out of whey from
Wow.
the surplus from the.
I'm sure they're just separating the.
No, it's a byproduct of the Greek yogurt business.
Okay.
With all the Greek yogurt made in New York now, we have a surplus of whey.
Nice. I lost my train of thought.
Rich, what were you drinking?
I've got a little
We forgot one mug on the table here.
little variation on the Moscow Mule here. We produce a vodka that's exceptionally clean, and we flavor everything naturally. We're using Concord grape vodka to make this cocktail tonight.
Very cool.
And everybody that grew up in New York State had a couple of wild grapevines in the backyard.
I do now.
Definitely.
Smell and taste just like this.
Yeah, I had to look it up, and then we didn't have it the last couple of years. We've got raspberries, blackberries, and now we've got grapes. I thought we had blueberries and cherries, but I think they turned out to be crab apples and some other kind of berry.
Rich can use them.
Yeah.
We can make alcohol
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. I got super excited. I got this beautiful tree in my front yard. I thought it was a cherry tree. And my aunt, who had passed away a few years ago, always had this cherry tree out in her front yard. You'd be able to go out and pick out these cherries. So when she passed away, I wanted to plant a cherry tree in her memory. And I got excited because I bought the house and I thought it bloomed like beautiful, like it looked like cherry blossoms. But then and it started like they don't get really big. The apples don't get. They look like cherries, but they don't ever turn like really red. They're kind of like green. So I just assumed that they were crab apples.
I'm gonna have to come over and check it out.
Yeah.
We can get some cherries out of it.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I'm gonna make it work.
You ever see those? They have like trees that like that will grow multiple different plants.
Do you guys have enough room for a garden right now where you are, or?
Yeah, we basically just have container gardens.
Yeah.
It's just easier. I just don't really have the time to, and the sand, I don't know, plowing the sand, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
Where are you guys now?
Got enough other stuff to do, huh?
We live in Rotterdam.
Oh, okay. Where's the still? In Rotterdam?
Actually, we lease space at
Okay.
another distillery.
Okay.
So we have an AP agreement with Schenectady Distilling.
Oh, nice. Yeah, right down on 5.
Yeah, what that means is, at 5 o'clock when they close the door and turn the lights off, we walk in, we turn the lights on, it's our place.
Nice.
Legally, we're a separate business,
Yeah.
separate taxes, separate everything. So they've got some capacity. So we've worked with them in some product development for them as well.
Awesome. Well, you're a very trustworthy guy. It's not like you're a fly-by-night kind of guy,
I've been making alcohol for 32 years,
Yeah.
33 years.
Do you ever see yourself going back to the beer industry? I mean, brewing beer on a large capacity.
It's not in the plans right now.
Do you homebrew?
I do not homebrew. No, I have not
He is
homebrewed.
never homebrewed. No. Many times I've mentioned it. Hey, we should. And he's like, oh, no.
I mean, you've taught so many people over the years, including Brian and so many other people that have really built a name for themselves. And, I mean, do you ever, not saying that you should take ownership of what they're brewing, but maybe a little bit of responsibility that you've produced so many great brewers. Do you ever look at that as like part of your legacy?
Well, like I said to Brian, don't blame me. What these guys do. No, it's great. It's great to see. It's exciting to walk into a brew pub, or we've got past students from the program in Schenectady that work at large distilleries, people that work at subsidies of Boston Beer, Miller Coors. Every brew pub in the area here pretty much has somebody who's been through our program, or at least been to one of the classes. It's pretty neat to see. We were considering carrying a wine, and we stopped by one of the wineries, and former brewing students making wine there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
The skills translate.
Yeah.
Across the board, for sure. At least some of them do. So
The love for it's gotta.
absolutely.
Yeah.
To be able to start with an idea in your head and see
Yeah.
it through to fruition, and especially getting to see other people taste the product and enjoy it after you've had that idea in your head for a long time. It's definitely, I think I might be
little far
am I just
away.
cutting out. I'm just far away.
Yeah, it's
All right. You don't want to hear me anyway.
I'll normalize
Yeah.
this all later.
It's a great time to be in the craft beverage business. There's a lot, we're very fortunate. We were able to source our ingredients locally without any hesitation at all. We're still, some brewers complain that they can't get some of these spicy exotic hops in New York, but there's some wonderful products here. We source our corn from the town of Amsterdam. Our rye and wheat come from a farm out in Canajoharie. Our barley is coming from Western New York, but it's malted in Albany. Our barrels are even made in Glenville.
Yeah.
You can't get much more local
Yeah.
than that. You can-
Every piece of the process.
from 25 miles out the front door of this place, you can pick up all of our ingredients.
Yeah. And soon to get crab apples and raspberries from Nick's backyard.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For sure. Jess will be mad at me. She likes it. She goes out there like on Sunday morning. She'll go pick her berries and have them with breakfast. She likes
Well, tell her to knock it off.
I know.
There's vodka to be made.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. We gotta have raspberry vodka from raspberries and from West Charlton.
Yeah.
So, not that this translates at all, and I'm probably gonna make myself sound like an idiot, but like I like to make hot sauce. I grow my own peppers and I make my own hot sauce. And then also like the video editing I do. Sometimes I'll get an idea for like a video, and it starts to take like a life of its own, where I no longer have creative control over it. The project itself, it does, including like a hot sauce. Like when like sometimes like I can have I've had habaneros, and it seems like every year they just get hotter and hotter and hotter. And of course, I do grow them right next to my Carolina Reapers and my ghost peppers. But like I'll make a hot sauce, and it's getting to the point where sometimes I feel like there's so much capsaicin in it, you start to lose the flavor, and that there are certain things I try to do to keep my hot sauces flavorful by using like different types of vinegar and and I don't really know until I get done with that fermenting process. Do you notice the same thing like when it comes to making alcohol or drinks? When you're starting off a new recipe, does it ever take a mind of its own and you just kind of let it lead you where it's going?
Absolutely. We are, as brewers, basically, or distillers, we're basically making food for yeast to ferment alcohol. And, brewers are adding other things, hops and things like that. In our distilling process, we're going to take what that yeast makes, we're going to take that back and then process that further based on our perception of flavors and things like that. So, Brian said there's a lot of aspects of brewing. You're a glorified janitor, first of all.
Yep.
and all we do is make food for yeast. As distillers, we take the next step beyond that, take what the yeast produces for us and concentrate those flavors and make selections using cuts and timings on the still.
Awesome.
And you're making hot sauce, fermentation.
Yeah.
Fermentation's the key there. That's what makes your hot sauce unique.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hot sauces around the country that are aged in old whiskey
No,
barrels,
for sure,
things
for sure.
like that.
Yeah, I don't have any old, and I don't make enough. I'd have to have a very small whiskey barrel, even smaller than that, because as I have my plants that I have at home, and a lot of times I normally stop at. Maybe every once in a while I'll throw a ghost pepper or a Reaper in, but mostly it's made from jalapenos, Thai chilies, and habaneros.
That's a good mix.
It is. And I think because I like I said, I feel like once the capsaicin gets so high, you start to lose the flavor. My mouth is starting watering because it's like the heat. But I love hot. Like,
You guys want to go get some chicken wings? Or
I'll eat them. I'll eat them right off. I'll cut it right off the plant and eat it. It's so good.
I want you to do that on one of these podcasts.
But you're growing the plant, you're fertilizing the plant, you're
Yeah.
trying to get that plant to produce what you want.
Yeah.
Then you're going to take the fruit of that plant and then ferment that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more going on there than just chopping up peppers and
For sure,
vinegar.
it is. And like I said, like I'll change like in the fall. I like to use like I'll replace like brown sugar with like maple syrup, and I'll use like apple cider vinegar to get a little bit more of a fall flavor. And sometimes like if it's like midsummer, if I'm using pineapple, like using like sweeter flavors and garlic, and there's just like different things that I'll add to it because it's important to me. heat is secondary. Flavor is primary. I don't know why we're talking about hot sauces.
It's, a lot of things, to borrow a term, cross-pollinate with this sort of stuff. You know,
sure.
I mean, if you're
It's
if you're a
all
distiller,
a creative process.
Yeah, exactly. It's a culinary art.
And we're working with something alive that's we're influencing and hoping for the best and trying to get the best out of it.
It is fun to watch something from its infancy with raw ingredients become something that's, if I knew we were going to talk about this, I would have write guys hot sauce.
Next time.
Can we do it again?
For sure. Yeah. We'll do this as many times as you want.
We're pretty fortunate. We get to go down to the farm and see where they grow our ingredients.
Yeah.
We were out in, we visited a farm last August, and that's where they grow the corn that is our vodka.
Nice.
And the farmer calls and checks on us and asks how things are going, and it's kind of neat to see the whole process.
Have they been down?
He has not yet. He called me about 2 months ago, and I know next time he's through town, he will be.
Yeah.
He's a little busy this time of year.
For sure.
A little bit.
Yeah, I live right, like everywhere I go, like the Arnold farm, they all have corn. The Wood farm has corn.
That's where we source our corn for our bourbons, Arnold.
Oh, Arnold, really?
Yeah.
In West Charlton? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm in the fire department with those guys. Yeah, I know the family pretty well. Preston and Chuck.
Corn's so good right now.
It is.
Yeah.
I just made some steaks and heated up boiled some corn. It was fun,
Oh, you're boiling your corn?
I'll throw it on the grill.
Yeah, you got to throw it on the grill. Come on.
Yeah, I do throw it on the grill. I leave the skin on it, throw it on the grill if I'm doing steaks outside. But I just got back from camping, and Sunday I needed something really quick to cook up, so I boiled some corn and I did a cast iron pan in my oven with the steak. Anyway, let's get back to second act.
I kind of want to talk about steak now. I don't
What's your favorite way to make a steak? You kind of answer
I
that.
have his wife make it.
Stacy will do an awesome steak, sous vide, and then finish it off with a cast iron pan in the oven.
Nice. It's almost like a reverse sear.
You can do a nice thick steak that way.
Yeah.
Cook it.
To tell you the truth, I like to go up to Oscar's in Warrensburg, get a 2-inch thick sirloin, and I will reverse sear where I put it in the oven for like 100, 200, 300, and then throw it on the flame with some wood fire, and grill the both sides so it gets a nice char on it. So good.
You're going to Oscar's up in Warrensburg?
Yeah.
Not Jacobs and Tony's, the great meat store of the north up there?
No, I go to Oscar's.
Oh, man.
I've never been to Jacobs and Tony's.
Oh man, they have full deli and butcher shop, and I'm telling you, man, if you get a half size sub there, you'll be eating it for a week.
I've been there. We've used to stop there on the way to skiing up there, up at Gore Mountain.
Yeah,
But you can't beat Oscar's. I mean, any place that has a sausage vending machine that's open.
Yeah, they do
24/7.
outside.
all right. Well, I think we owe each other a trip here.
Yeah, let's
We'll take one trip and we'll go up and we'll visit both.
There's a New Way Lunch hot dog in Warrensburg as well.
I might have had that.
I mean, if we want to stop for hot dogs, I'm just throwing it out there.
I like-
if you want to make a trip out of this, we might as well go full bore.
Favorite hot dog place in the capital region?
Oh, New Way Lunch hot dogs, Dirty John's.
Okay, there
Yeah.
you go.
Can't beat it.
Yeah, mine's.
There's an amazing hot dog place here in Amsterdam, too.
Is it really?
Yep,
Guja's hot dogs. They're right down the river.
Never had it.
Oh,
Yeah,
and all
really
the time
good.
we've spent down here putting this place together.
Spent many.
Stopped in there a few too many times,
Yeah.
maybe. But
Mine is famous on what is it, Congress and Troy. So good.
They are
Their
good.
sauce.
Little dogs.
Yeah, the hem bolts. But it's funny because you never know. Like sometimes they're like only 2 or 3 inches long. Sometimes they're like 6 inches long. They just whatever you get, you get.
I'm a little spoiled working right around the corner from Mike's.
Yeah, Mike's.
So-
I grew up with Mike's. Then I moved to Troy, and then I was like, I'll never have Mike's again.
Oh.
I came back to Mike's. I was like, oh, wait, this is still pretty good. And you're from Glens Falls.
Oh, Hudson Falls.
Hudson Falls.
Yeah. So short ride over the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple good hot dog places up there. Zach's, kind of blanking on the other one. But down here, yeah, I'm partial to Mike's and a big fan of Broadway Lunch.
Nice.
Actually, they
Broadway.
they load up on the sliced onions the way that I want them to. I don't have to ask for extra.
For sure.
So-
That's You need more onions than can stay on a hot dog.
Yes, it's got
It'd
to
be
pollute the box.
Yeah, it's got to fall off.
Yeah.
And then you've got to try to scoop it back on. Or you're putting it like on the end and you're still like trying to eat it. That's how you know you got the right amount of onions.
That's the right amount right there.
Yeah.
Well, you get a basket of fries underneath in the paper bag, and
And
all
then the other
onions
fall down.
Yeah, the onions fall in the fries. It works.
You know, it's when I do
Circle of life, we call it. So
at Mike's, I'll get a hot dog. I'll get a hamburger. So I'll eat the hot dog, and when the sauce falls off, it lands on the hamburger. Then I eat the hamburger. And then they asked me, they're like, do you want us to just put the sauce on the hamburger, and it costs more? I was like, no, I'm getting the free sauce. Man, we got into a tangent, but I liked it.
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
No, it's all good.
I don't know. Food and beverages are kind of
What do you think is
kind of what I do.
the best thing to pair with some of your liquors?
Heather's chocolate.
Heather's chocolate. There we go. The bourbon. Is the bourbon filtered?
We do a pretty coarse filter on it. It's got a lot of flavor from the oak.
Yeah.
When you empty a barrel, there's often pieces of charred oak
Yeah.
in the barrel floating around or on the bottom, and we basically strain that out. Is about it. But it's a fairly rough filter. It's just basically strained.
I was gonna say, like, the bottle I have has like a couple of things like floating, and it's got a little bit of fogginess to it. So I was wondering if it was.
Yeah, there's a lot of large distilleries that will chill filter whiskey. They'll take it down below freezing and they'll intentionally create that haze.
Yeah.
Then they'll strip that out, and you're also stripping out flavor.
Yeah.
So it's not uncommon to see all the stuff that comes through from the grain,
Yeah.
the lipids and oils and stuff from the wood that actually carry through to the product.
Nice. I do, and the only reason why I ask is like, there's some like Schenectady, the distillery that I believe you guys are at. They I noticed like some of their bourbons have like a earthy flavor to it. Same with the Cooperstown. One of theirs has a very earthy flavor to it. And I was wondering I was trying to figure out if it was like more filtered or less filtered. Or
I know Ken doesn't really tightly filter his product. I'm not sure what Gene does down at Cooperstown. But, some of the earthy notes might be from grain. Bourbon by law has to be at least 51% corn. And the rest is up to Stacy and I to do what we want, make what we want. You can use them 100% corn. And there's some nice products that are done that way. Our product is a bit more wheat forward. We're 20% wheat. And wheat tends to make a smoother,
Sweeter?
almost slightly sweeter finish
Yeah.
to it. And then the whiskey is also taking up sugars and caramels from the wood,
Yeah.
from the aging process as well. And we use about 11% malted barley and about 9% rye. Rye tends to be spicy and earthy as well.
yeah.
Rye.
I like rye though, and not that I dislike the other ones.
Yeah.
It's almost I don't want to say dirt, but it's almost got like a dirt flavor to it.
Yeah, it's the same process, same biological process that happens in like German wheat beer fermentation. It's ferulic acid from the rye is broken down to 2,4-glucol vinyl biologically. And so you get that note in rye, and it's obviously at a different level because we're drinking whiskey at 80, 90 proof versus beer at 4 or 5% alcohol for a German-style wheat beer. But you're in distillation, we're concentrating those, so they're a bit stronger. So ryes do tend to finish a little spicy. And ours has some rye in it. It's still there. It's a little light on that. And at some point, we probably will make a rye, which would be at least 50% rye.
Rye's my favorite of the
Yeah.
whiskeys in the whiskey family. I like Scotch too, but I mean, how different is like a peated Scotch? I mean, it's just whiskey with a smoky flavor, no?
Well, Scotch generally is a malt product. 100% barley is typical. People get confused over single malt. Single describes it's an unblended product. Malt describes what it's made from. So there are people in New York that are making 100% barley malt whiskeys, and something we probably will do in the future. Barley has been a challenge in New York. I remember years ago we were out at a master brewers meeting at Ithaca Brewing Company, and we just sitting around talking about the New York State farm brewing law as a new thing, and we didn't notice the guys in the corner from Cornell, and they were kind of annoyed with us. Halfway through the meeting, they came over to us. Mark Charles came over. He's like, "We've been breeding barley and rye to grow in New York for years, and nobody's asked us about barley." we can do this, but you need to tell us what you need.
Yeah.
So at this point, we have some New York bred barleys that are making it through to brewing and distilling at this point. New York has its challenges. We've had, it's summertime, it's hot, it's humid, we've got thunderstorms and rain.
Yeah.
Barley has been bred and selected over the years to lose this trait called dormancy. So dormancy is the grain will need to be rested for a period of months before it can be malted or grown again. So large breweries have selectively bred that out of barley so they can harvest and go right from there and not have to store 6 months worth of barley to get through dormancy. And that trait of dormancy is actually beneficial in New York. We've got summer rains. If you've got barley drying on the stalk and the rain comes through, that grain will start to grow on the stalk, and you'll not be able to malt that barley because it's pre-germinated. And you got one shot to grow it. So that dormancy is beneficial. So we're actually looking into varieties, and there's breeding programs looking for dormancy to come back in New York, so we can actually grow these products for brewers and distillers.
It's fantastic.
So, stupid question, because I know nothing about your world of distilling or brewing, but if you can make a scotch out of barley, could you not make something out of like hops?
I have a bottle of gin from a hop breeding program in Germany sitting on my desk at my house.
What kind of hops?
It's called 3 Hop Gin from the hop breeding program in Hull.
Are they like noble hops or?
They're probably German varieties that are based on American Cascade.
Okay.
Seems to be the majority of
That's
it.
because I was more leaning toward like I'm kind of curious, like what would like a scotch or even a gin that was made of like Galaxy or Mosaic like hops, like would it translate, like would you still get that?
So unfortunately the hop aromatics can be fragile, they oxidize over time, but you guys are sampling the cocktails at Stacy's Gin here. There's a lot of the same chemistry. Juniper has a classic gin is a pine tree in a bottle.
Yeah.
Gin has to have juniper in it to be called gin.
Yeah.
After that, we can do what we want. So Stacy's taken some creative leeway here and used lavender and things like that. But the organic chemistry of juniper is the same stuff that's in hops.
Yeah.
Beta pinene, alpha pinene, those are the notes that you get out of hops. So there's a lot of overlap there.
Yeah.
And I over the years, I had played with beer and using juniper and beer to add some notes that kind of fit in because of that common chemistry.
For sure, and I've definitely had some barreled aged gin. I think Cooperstown makes one. I think it's Cooperstown. Somebody makes one, relatively local.
I think
talk to
that's
the gin lady.
I think that's fascinating. I
Yeah.
absolutely want to do
So
a barrel aged.
It would be kind of fun to take some hops and barrel age like a gin, almost like I think there's just a lot of fun stuff that you can do with.
That's, I think, my fascination with gin.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the sky's the limit. There's so many amazing things.
Yeah.
you can
And I
do
love the
with it.
pininess of gin. And
Yeah, if we, as long as we meet the standards of having juniper in it, it's a wide open field. Everybody thinks of juniper or gin. Well, my thoughts were that gin was not going to be a big seller, and it's been a great seller for us.
you make a fantastic gin. How's it not going to be?
Give her the credit on that one. But everybody thinks of gin. They think of Beefeater, Tanqueray, Pine Tree in a bottle, and that's like saying I'm not a beer drinker because I had Bud Light once.
Yeah.
You're drinking one style, and it's
Yeah.
a wide open field. We can add anything to gin. As a producer, it's as long as we meet those minimum standards, we can go crazy with it.
I think when we also were introducing products and talking to some people out in the community, liquor stores and things like that, when we mentioned gin, it was, oh no, we won't be interested in that. So I think that was some of why we weren't sure exactly how popular the gin would be.
Sellability's
But
gotta be,
it's
yeah.
been, to be honest, there are not that many people other than us carrying it so far, and yet we're still going through it so fast we're having trouble producing it.
Are you
But
are you looking to distribute the
Yeah, I mean, we're basically anybody that's asking,
You're-
we're
yeah, yeah.
happy
So,
to
yeah.
let them carry some.
For sure.
But we're not necessarily, I'm not sure that we need to really go
Yeah.
actively
No, not- yeah.
solicit it because it's doing really well
It's
here.
a very good gin, yeah.
Yeah, and our business model here is, with the challenges of New York State timing and licensing, things like that, we started out bottling December.
Yeah.
And so for 6 months, we've been selling liquor out of the back of our car.
Yeah.
Legally, we have
Yeah.
a wholesaler's permit, and some people are like, "Oh, cool, that's interesting," and some people are like, "Well, you're not with one of the big distributors. We're not interested."
Yeah.
So it's been interesting. So Stacy's been out at farmers markets on weekends, and and we've done really well where we can sample. I think we make a great product. But we put it in front of people, they taste it, they want to buy a bottle.
You can even walk into your local chocolate shop and get handed a shot.
Oh, really? So you go to J Street that's awesome.
But it's buying a bottle is an investment, and people want to make sure they like it. So we're trying to kind of replicate part of the brew pub model here, in the fact that people can come in here and try
Yeah.
something and take it with them. And we've had really good success in liquor stores, where on a Friday afternoon at 3:00 we can do samplings, things like that.
It's as a business owner myself, and I know somehow I keep pulling my experiences into this. I don't know why, but
It's your podcast.
It
I
is,
mean,
but,
we're not going to yell at you about it. So
I've started my own business, and one of the things that I found is that I was kind of dead, then I got busy, then I got dead again, then I got busy again, and now it's just funny because I'm busy now, and I have people that reach out to me, and they want to, let me help you get leads, let me do this, let me give you sell for you, and I'm like, no, I'm good, I'm good just doing it on my own. I'm progressing at a rate that I like to, but then when you look at new distilleries, you've got you guys, but you got guys like Jesse from New Scotland, and his marketing game is phenomenal. His videos are entertaining. He's out there all the time. We had him on the podcast, which was funny because in the podcast he's like, "Yeah, I was originally selling this for $20, and then it got popular, so I started selling for $50, and then I sold it for $100." So then at the end of the podcast, he's like, "Yeah, I'll buy a bottle." And I'm thinking it's the original 20. No, he for the full son of a gun.
no discount, huh?
Yeah,
Jeez.
but my point is that he's kind of run into the same problem where it's become very popular, but he also wants to get out there and be in mass distribution. Is that somewhere where you see yourself, or do you enjoy being, I mean, if it goes that way, or is that something you're gonna,
Well, actually, Jesse reached out to us about carrying our gin this week, which was nice. So that might be another new account for us.
He likes to carry local stuff.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
he's got a great. We were talking about it tonight. We just haven't been to his new location yet.
It's great.
and we see him all the time
Yeah.
at events and tastings, things
For
like
sure.
that. And,
He's a great dude, great guy.
and he's got a lot of, like you said, he carries a lot of New York product.
Yeah.
And, our business model was, the plan is, if we can self-distribute within an hour of our front door and invite people in and sell product here, that's great.
Yeah, for sure.
I've had a few people reach out to me from distributors, and I don't think they're a good fit, but we'll talk to anybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of projects that you've been on, and when it goes to distribution, I mean, there are people out there still buying products that you came up with.
30 years ago.
Yeah. But I mean, even as far as Texas, or far as it's not impossible to walk in somewhere and see one of your beers and be states away.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that's the direction that this
Yeah,
goes
but
in.
at this point, I've got the consulting gig, which keeps me pretty busy, and it's allowed us to develop this together slowly and manage it. We're not in a panic. We don't need to sell everything.
Plus, you still teach, right?
Yeah, because I don't sleep at night, and that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, between consulting, teaching, distilling, probably helping everybody and their brother with any issue that they run into.
Yeah,
This guy will pick up the phone.
Yeah.
If you ever have an issue, or if he doesn't pick up, he'll call you right back. So he's been great.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's we've been we opened here Father's Day weekend, and it was 77 degrees and sunny. It was a beautiful day.
Nice.
We didn't have air conditioning.
Because it broke like 2 days before.
Oh,
That's the worst.
and the next weekend was like 89 degrees, and it went up after that. So we had to spend some money on fixing the air conditioning, but I've got a day job which allows me to has allowed us to put money back into this place and replace that air conditioner and things like that. So we've been doing we had our grand opening here. Was it 3 Fridays ago?
Yeah, it was July 26th.
I was here.
Friday.
Yep.
Yeah.
You stopped in late. Came in.
What was I? I was doing something else that day. Oh, I had a deposition. Yeah, it was a long day.
Nick wasn't the defendant
No.
in this case.
No.
We want to clarify that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of which, I'm going to be, any day now, I'm going to have a new company. It's called CBM Legal Solutions. So those lawyers out there that need depositions video recorded or forensic video work or audio work, reach out. Hit up my website at the capitalbrewmarketing.com, the original company, and shoot me an email, and I'll be more than happy to take on your business.
I hate it when guys start promoting their own stuff. It's like, we're already listening to the podcast, so will you just leave us alone for
True.
1 minute?
I agree. You're probably right.
God, I forget where I was recently, but you walk into a bar and like they've got the biggest glowing like neon sign of their own bar logo. Now I got to look around and make sure I'm not making an ass of myself here, but it's just like, you already sold me on it. I'm already here.
Yeah.
Like, I know where I am. Yeah.
People drive by, you can see we're here. That's it. That's our sign.
I'll just put my foot in my mouth. That's all right.
No, that's pointed outward.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not-
pointed out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one inside. Who's that for?
Yeah.
I know where I am. I'm at Fuddruckers, baby. You know?
Do they still have those?
No.
No.
Not that I know of.
I don't think I've ever been, but I heard they get good burgers.
Well, not good enough.
Can't be as good as, or can't be as bad as what's Red Robin.
Never had them.
No,
Never had 'em.
Don't waste your
Oh,
time.
my
I'll-
boys always loved those burgers.
Really?
Yep.
I've been there. I've been there 3 times. Got 2 burgers, but one was one I bit into and it had like the wax paper in it.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, so
Yikes.
I walked right. I'm done. That was the third. All right, so really quick, I went there when they first opened up in Clifton Park. I think it was Clifton Park was the one that opened up first. I went to the one in Clifton Park. They like sat us down in the bar area, and a lady comes up. Hey, my name is Tracy. I'm gonna be your waitress. 5 minutes, or can I get your drinks? So we order a couple beers, and then another lady comes over. Hey, my name's Becky. I'm gonna take your order. Can I get you serve up a couple drinks? So like we ordered. I believe those are my beers over there sitting in the bar. Well, let me check on that for you. Hi, what's up? My name's Dan. I'm gonna be your waiter today. Yeah.
Am I getting punked? Like,
45 minutes later, somebody eventually came out and just gave us a tower of like onion rings, so we're grateful for that, but I still didn't get my beer, which I could see just sitting on the bar.
Dying.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I'm done. And I start walking out, and the manager was like, I'm sorry, you guys. I was like, yeah, we ordered burgers, or we didn't even order burgers yet. We haven't got our drinks yet. We've been here for over 45 minutes. I've had literally 5 or 6 people come up to me and ask me what my order is, and it's cool. I understand you guys are just starting. I'm going to come back when you guys are, when you work out the kinks. I wasn't mad. My girlfriend at the time was heated. So they're like, we're so sorry. Here, take a couple free meals on us. So the second time I go, and it's pretty much the same thing. I sat there forever, and we had ordered our food, and we just get up and we start walking out, and the manager, and this is when the one in Latham opened, but I waited like 6 months after they opened, and I went in there. And long story short, they ended up giving me the burgers. We took them on the way out. But we stopped somewhere else and had dinner. And by the time I actually ate the burger, it was cold and it wasn't that good. The third time, my buddy's like, hey, do you want to go to Red Robin's? No, I don't ever want to go to Red Robin. I told him the story.
yes, more than anything.
Yeah, it's not my. He's like, come on. It's like it's been years. Like let's go to Red Robin. I go in there and I order a burger, and I got it in a decent amount of time. I got my drinks in a decent amount of time, and I got my fries. The service was great. Everything was wonderful. I bit into my burger, and there was a wax paper in it. I'm done.
Yeah.
No.
I'm done.
3 strikes. Yeah.
So yeah, Fuddruckers.
Usually you got to pay extra.
Yeah.
Oh, wax paper, man. It's not
Well,
cheap.
our thought here was we opened up and we didn't really publicize this too much. It gave us a few weeks to kind of figure out what we forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. We had people took the tour of the building, couldn't
Yeah.
find where we were in here,
At
and
first,
things
yeah.
like that. So, we did a soft opening, and we had our kids came out to give us a hand. Like, okay, we want to take a walk around and see if anybody seems lost in the
Yeah,
building.
we kept sending them out, tour the building and find people and bring them back to us.
You got to walk before you run. That's all.
So as far as like, I mean, I'm sure you could have like bands and stuff playing here. Is that
Yeah, we
something-
did at our
Oh,
grand opening.
Nice. Oh,
Yep.
they must have packed
Yeah,
it before I
yep,
got here.
yep, I think you missed them.
Yeah, it's a nice little space here. We have room for somebody with an acoustic guitar down in the end. Probably not too much more than that, but
Yeah.
it's a nice room.
Would you do like open mics or like trivia and stuff like that, or just
Trivia, we're definitely thinking about,
okay?
yeah.
Yeah, it's always a popular. You're gonna pack this place.
And
real
we've
quick.
got some activities that,
Games and stuff.
paint and sip kind of cocktail glass.
Nice.
Yeah, we've got
That's this Saturday, and then we've got a class where you make pendants, jewelry type things coming up. Yeah,
So you, is this all on your website?
yes.
And what's the website
And
that people
on
can
Facebook.
Go, the Facebook. So what's the website that everybody can go to and look for these events?
secondactspirits.com.
All right.
Pretty simple.
Nice.
But we've got we do some other educational things too. We just hosted an off flavor class here. Somebody keeps correcting me that it probably shouldn't be called an off flavor class. These are flavors that you find in fermentation in beer, wine, and spirit. So we actually use that as an opportunity to invite some of our friends from the beverage industry in to do a training class and then have a cocktail afterwards. And Stacy mentioned some other activities. We've got a dart board here, and there's board games in the corner. So it's kind
Nice.
of pretty.
When you're in one of Rich's quote unquote off flavor classes, when he gets to a certain chemical compound and then locks eyes with you the entire time he's describing it, you know you screwed up. You got to go back and check your process. So yeah. No, you didn't do that to me.
The worst one the funniest one I see is butyric acid, which is
God, that's me and Laura's favorite.
for the untrained, it's baby vomit.
Did you guys go together? Were you in class
Yeah,
together?
Laura and I were in the same class together. Yep.
She's over at Back Bar now.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
And actually, she was at our class a few weeks ago. I think she's probably taken more off flavor classes than I've taught at this point. But the interesting thing with butyric acid is you can tell who in the room has kids and who doesn't. Because if somebody's had kids, they've been spit up on enough times that it
gross.
doesn't bother them anymore. But if they're really freaked out, grossed out by it, you can tell they don't have kids.
Yeah, that would be me. I might throw up.
I think we should bring you in for an off-flavor training class
No,
one of
thank you.
these times.
I'll come in for-
You would find it highly educational because there's a lot of things that you've tasted in a lot of
things out there in the world.
mass-produced beverages. And, like Rich said, that, calling them off flavors isn't necessarily fair.
Yeah.
Because, some of them, I mean, they, for instance, isoamyl acetate. It's the banana compound, that's present in a lot of German wheat beers. It's classified as an off flavor, a byproduct of fermentation, but it's nothing out of the ordinary depending on the style of beer that you're drinking.
Isn't it the yeast that normally brings in the banana flavor?
It is. And it's, as a brewer or distiller, you can influence how much of that's produced by fermentation temperature, things like that. And if you're making a light Pilsner, that's probably not appropriate. If you're making a German style wheat beer, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bright flavor. So I mean, it would go great with a wheat beer.
Yeah. I think we should do a podcast and run you through the gamut.
Let's do
on
it.
Some of these.
Do I still get the celebratory drink at the end?
Yeah, the palate cleanser. Absolutely.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really here for.
I used to work for a brewery out in the middle part of the state, and they make this product that's Utica Club.
Oh yeah.
Which
Matt's
it's
brewing.
interesting because Utica Club seems to skip a generation. People of my generation didn't drink it. Our grandfather did, and now my kids do, and now it's cool again.
My dad did. My dad's gonna be a little bit older than you. I would drink it only because I'd play Hey Mister in Albany, and they actually had 40s of. Oh no, that was Country Club, not Utica Club. Never mind, I take
Don't
that back.
ever mix those
Oh,
up
I know,
again.
I know. I actually
Don't
like
you
Utica.
dare.
I just remember being a kid and being like, "This is horrible," but I'm getting drunk. Hey.
So, we used to use Utica Club as the base beer that we'd use for training. And at one point, Fred Matt came to me and said, "Why do you do this?" I'm like, "What's good beer?" But at the end of the class, everybody has had this beer screwed up 12 times. And so I got to the point where, okay, I get your point, Fred. I've got 12 students this week. I need another 12-pack. Everybody's going to go home with a good beer at the end of the day so they can go and enjoy it and taste it as it should be. But, it was a good, clean beer. And I worked...
PBR's like that too, by the way.
Yeah.
Skip generations.
And I worked at that brewery doing product development and quality. I thought it was a great beer. Ruining it for everybody with chemical off flavors probably wasn't the nicest way to market that product. But he had a point there. So we actually went through and made sure, I started using that for classes. I would bring an extra can so everybody got to take something home to enjoy without me screwing it up.
When I stopped by on the way here to pick up some beer, I eyeballed the UC, the Uncle Charlie's there.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but then I panicked. I wasn't sure if, I don't know, what would Rich think?
It's
if I
our
got
youngest son Matthew's favorite. So yeah.
If I picked up a 12-pack of bottles, would Rich scold me and tell me to get the cans instead? So I panicked and I picked up some of Scotty's beer from Indian Ladder. So,
I'm down to try.
Yeah, we should get some of that going.
Yeah, you want to grab it real quick?
Yeah, sure thing.
It's their Italian Pilsner. It's a nice product.
He makes a phenomenal Italian Pilsner.
That's part of why I grabbed this.
Compare and contrast.
See if it held up.
I actually have a podcast with Scotty coming up here soon.
Oh, you were supposed to have it last week, right?
We were. Somebody invited me out to Indian Ladder, and I tried a couple of his beers then, but I didn't get to try this one. And then somebody gave me VIP passes to Farming Man.
That guy sounds kind of cool.
He is.
Yeah. Gonna steal one of those napkins real quick.
Thank you. I spilt my beer.
It's okay.
We'll get the rest of that before we leave.
What did you do? Shake these up good on the way over?
Yeah, I need new shocks on the truck, actually. So, and I put them on the roof with a bungee cord and made sure I took the roughest road here.
Ran him over a couple times.
Yep. Well, cheers, Mr. Veltman.
Yeah.
We're having your tractor,
Yeah.
I believe is the name.
looks-
Tractor Italian Pilsner.
That looks like a clutch. Cheers.
I don't know. You're going to have to ask him all about this. I'm kind of glad I brought this beer, so now when you go out to talk to him next week, you can be like, well, I've already had this. We don't need to,
We were talking about odd flavors, somebody started cracking into your beer. Just kidding, Scott. The beer's great.
Yeah, this is I'm pretty sure this is a clutch. Ooh, La Macchia. That's Italian for car.
Wow.
Wait, did you say this was called Tractor?
I can't take you seriously.
I don't think so. Tractor, I think, is their Czech Pilsner.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, La Macchina. Okay.
Yeah, it's Italian for car,
All right.
and that's a clutch.
Well, Scott, you're going to need to check into Southside Beverage in Amsterdam because they mislabeled the product on the sign there. And so, although this was $1 cheaper for the 4-pack than the Tractor was. So,
Sweet.
I don't know if that's by design, but I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to call that the Veltman discount.
It's still Italian Pilsner because it's a Pilsner. It says Italian Pilsner right on it.
Yes, it sure does. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tractor's their Czech Pilsner. He had a really nice dark Czech style, too. Dark Czech lager. Yeah, Stacy and I were over there for Baby Animal Days, serving samples of liquor and selling bottles out front. And some days enjoying the nice warm sun, and some days shivering in the cold wind off the mountain there.
Sadly, most days we're pretty
cold.
cold, but
Baby animal
we just
days.
had a rough March, unfortunately.
I had a good time when I was there.
I never have a bad time at Indian Ladder. Gorgeous property. Can't beat the donuts.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
We've got their cider here. Dieter and Lori brought over a case of cider for us for our opening, so we want to add some cider. They showed up with it the first day we were here.
Nice. There we go. Yeah, it's fall time. It's a good time. I think it's a good time to have a podcast with them.
Well, definitely get it in the next week or two because once they hit September, they're running, man.
Yeah.
I don't think you can nail Scott down for 2 minutes.
Do they do I gotta do an Oktoberfest there?
Not that I know of.
Really?
Yeah.
It's apple picking season and crushing
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no need. Yeah.
No, yeah, they're going to be busy.
Although
no
with
matter what.
with that outdoor pavilion, you could
Yeah.
absolutely get something done
going
like
on
that.
over there, yeah.
So what?
When you're out there asking about the pizza oven, the story behind that.
Okay, for the ones that Fazio uses.
The wood-fired pizza oven is an old fermenter from a capitalistic brewery from years ago.
I was going to say, like, did something happen to it? Because I just ate pizza when I was there. Shut up.
I believe it's an old fermenter from Dobler
Oh, nice.
in Albany.
Oh, yeah. That, you know, it's funny. I said that when we were there. I was like, because when we were at, when you go to Middleton for Jameson, they have old stills all over the place, and the top of it looks like, you know. So as far as, especially with your gin, I mean, do you guys foresee yourself doing any kind of special fall flavors with fall coming up? At least in the future, not maybe this year, but maybe.
Well, we've got some ideas for some other flavors. We've got the two flavored vodkas right now, Concord Grape,
Which we haven't really talked a whole lot about.
Concord Grape and Green Apple.
Yeah.
You know, we're focusing on flavors that you'll find growing in New York.
Yeah.
You know, all natural is kind of key for us.
Yeah, so we're looking into like maybe a peach, a black cherry. Those are the two we've
Sure.
talked about. We want to try to stay with flavors that, fruits that would grow,
Yeah.
you know, normally in New York. We're probably never going to do an orange or lemon.
Mango,
Yeah.
pineapple.
Yeah. Yep.
So you can do cherry.
We've played around with cherry. Cherry is still in product development.
Sour.
Well, one of the challenges with cherry is it goes cherry, cherry, cherry. One drop more, it goes cough syrup.
Okay.
Robitussin.
I actually like Robitussin, so that's fine.
Oh my God. Get your palate checked, man. Come on.
I made some from good Saturday nights in college.
40 ounces in Robitussin.
And this is the story of how Nick went colorblind.
Yeah.
He didn't used to be.
That was a conversation off mic.
Wasn't born that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy used to know what purple looked like until the robo tripping got him.
Yeah.
Oh well.
No more.
But
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
we're
buddy.
working on some other flavors in that line, and then Stacy has some other thoughts on where to take gin.
Okay.
You know, and do we want to extend our gin line? Yeah, we'll probably do something. You know, distilleries are pretty slow to release new products, and we have some really neat equipment to work with. We have the ability to do small test batches. You know, this gin product right now, we're producing that in a small still that we're producing. You know, we can produce down to 5 cases with that.
Nice.
So doing a specialty product, you know, there's products here that we've had to just be creative with. You know, we couldn't find readily available New York vermouth. I know that is something that's available, but it's a little hard to get distribution-wise.
And tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we've toyed with the idea. I love the idea of making absinthe.
Oh, yeah.
So,
With wormwood?
So we've got a Manhattan that we don't have red vermouth, so sweet vermouth. So we changed that up. There's a small winery right around the corner from Indian Ladder that produces an apple ice wine and then takes the pumice and represses that with elderberries and makes a really nice dry red wine. We're using that to make our Manhattan. But there's a few things that we may make in small quantities that may be in our tasting room only. You know, we still have to go through statement of process and label approval, but it's pretty inexpensive to do that. So you know, we can offer variety here. You know, I've never been afraid of making more products, more flavors over the years.
And I'm not gonna protest you doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the vodka. So we have 3 vodkas, right? We got the straight vodka, we've got the green apple, and we've got the
Concord Grape.
Concord Grape.
Yeah.
I will say that on your grand opening, I did come down, and you said, because traditionally there are. A vodka is not something you really sip on its own. It's not like a bourbon where you just take, like, you know, you can have it straight, or, you know, ice
Seems
cube
to
in
have
there.
a different target audience.
Yeah. Vodka's a great mixing. Same with gin. They're both great mixing spirits. But when I was here the other day, I legitimately could have just sipped on the grape vodka like I was drinking a gin. A lot of flavor.
We developed
Smooth.
our base vodka, our premium vodka, really as a platform to build flavors on. We made that exceptionally clean. We run that up to about 193 proof, and we work with an outside lab. We do analysis on it. You won't find any flavor in that. It is completely clean, and that's intentional. We want that to be that clean so we can build flavors on top of that. And we didn't think that was going to be a big seller. We'd have it here, not a big deal, but we've actually sold quite a bit of that as an exceptionally clean vodka. But like I said, our target was actually to be an ingredient in our flavored products.
Yeah. So like the grape, that's 100 proof.
The grape, actually, we run that at 70 proof.
Okay.
Our regular premium vodka is 80 proof, which is traditional for vodka. 80 proof is such a strong solvent that flavor and aroma wouldn't come out of it.
Yeah.
If you cut it down with water, it would come out. So we actually, if you go to the liquor store and look at a major brand and their flavors, the flavors are typically 70 proof.
Wow.
And that at that level of alcohol, you can actually perceive the flavors really well.
Yeah, and this one is, you definitely do. It's like it is. It's very smooth. It's very very flavorful. It's delicious. It's just funny to think of it as like a sipping spirit instead of a mixing spirit.
A couple of ice cubes or a splash of soda, and
You're off to the races, or the porch swing. And if you're not careful enough, the bedroom.
What do you mean if you're not careful enough?
or sleeping on the porch.
Passing out or sleeping on the
Sleeping on the porch swing.
Yeah, because it is. I imagine it catches up in you so quick because it is so smooth.
Worst ways to spend a Sunday afternoon.
I know.
So,
Nice cigar. I actually never tried drinking.
don't fall asleep on the porch swing with a cigar in your mouth, please.
I'm just saying I've never tried drinking vodka, sipping vodka with a cigar. I don't know how well that's going to pair.
I think we've got quite a few plans.
Yeah.
You know, between the next podcast where we're going to have you try baby vomit.
Okay.
That's going to be amazing. I can't wait for that one.
That's not gonna
Oh, well, no, we'll give you a cigar afterwards. You'll be fine.
We've got to go to Warrensburg.
Yeah. Yep. Got to go to Warrensburg.
Warrensburg, The hot dog.
I think we're all cooking each other a
Yeah.
steak, or at least that's
Yeah.
how I remember how this conversation turned out. So, yeah.
We didn't hear your favorite process for grilling or cooking a steak.
4 minutes aside, salt and pepper, down the hatch, bud.
There you
I
go.
don't need to get too fancy with
On
it.
a-
I have a sous vide. I've done reverse sear before. I have a really nice cast iron. You know, it depends on what I want to do. But right now it's grilling season. Can't beat that flame char. I go back and forth between the gas grill, or I've got my my chimney starter for my smoker. Just load that up with coals, put the grate on top, and if I've got a steak in the sous vide for a little bit, you can just toss it right on the coals, get them nice and charred up. Yeah, can't go wrong.
Well, I don't.
So-
Yeah, my personal favorite is to wood fire. A steak to be able to get some coals going, throw some logs on there, get the flames at a nice height, and I do it like on my smoker, but I do it direct heat, direct flame, and I'll choke it down just a little bit to keep that smokiness in there. It's just so good.
Talking my language, man. This
I
is
know.
pretty good.
I'm starving.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, we got to go get chicken wings too. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
You're
some
making
hot
hot
sauce.
sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, I got my Reapers haven't been coming in that well, but my ghost peppers are coming in phenomenal right now.
Oh boy.
It's been a little cool for the hot peppers to do well. They tend to like the hot late summer.
Right now they're exploding.
Yeah, my jalapenos are doing pretty good. I don't have anything else planted though. I ran through all my tomatoes already.
We should trade jalapenos.
Sure. Yeah,
Have you try one of mine?
you got it. I feel like you're gonna trick me and hand me something a lot hotter.
It's the third year that I'm growing them.
I don't trust you, man.
Oh, you can tell the difference between the.
I think mine look like normal. Oh yeah, if it was a hotter pepper, it looks like a normal.
The Scotch bonnets and the ghosts,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't look anything
Yeah,
like
no.
a jalapeno.
Nothing looks like a jalapeno. But I do have a couple of. It's my third year doing it, and every year they've gotten hotter. And my habaneros are almost ghost pepper hot. If not ghost pepper hot, they're insane. They haven't. I've only had a couple that have gone orange, and I've tried them, but man, like I cut a little bit. My first jalapeno this year, I cut a piece. I ate it, and I'm sitting there and eating it, and Jess is sitting there, and I'm trying not to make a face, and I'm just eating it. I was like,
Tough guy.
I was like, this is a good year for jalapenos. She's like, I know, they look so good. I was like, I know. I just took a couple and I cut one. I was like, a lot of flavor, not so hot though. I lost the heat. I was like, here, try a piece.
Oh, you're an evil man. I love it.
And then as soon as she ate it, she started walking away. I had to spit it out. It was a little bit too much. I just wasn't prepared for it. And
You almost didn't get married because of that.
Well, this was thankfully after she said yes. She walked back in. She's like, "You lied to me." And I've been dehydrating my peppers, making pepper flake. And I had my Thai chilies. I did those a couple weeks ago and dehydrated those. And it's funny, your muddlers there. That's what I use to break up my peppers. And I was like, here, just try a pinch. I was like, it's not hot.
Can't trust you, man.
No, don't ever trust me. All right, so we're coming towards the end here. Is there anything that anybody wants to cover? What do you got coming up?
I got to bring Nikki back out here so she can see the place, and
sure.
we can have a couple of cocktails, and maybe you and Jess should join.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Let's. I think that's a good plan, and then we'll go get some hot dogs.
Yeah.
Down the hill. Yeah.
Maybe we get hot dogs first.
And the hot dog places, they do breakfast, and then
nice.
hot dogs, they close up at 2, so you got to plan your day appropriately.
Yeah.
All right. What time do you open here?
4 to 8 Thursday and Friday,
4 to
and
8.
noon to 6 Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
So
Well,
maybe you have to be on a weekend.
it's going to have to be on a weekend anyway.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Every day's a weekend for me. Sometimes.
Must be nice.
It's not true.
All right.
I can't
I
believe
feel
it.
like we've
Well, we
lost
got to
our
go
weekends.
now.
I can't remember the last time I had a half day Friday. I've been too busy.
And that was your bread and butter there for a while.
That was my selling point. That's the
Yeah.
reason why I said yes to the job. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start my own company, and I'm going to work 10, 12 hours Monday through Thursday, and then Fridays are half-day Fridays. And that worked a lot in the beginning, not so much now.
Yeah.
But I'm still trying to get back to it. We'll have a half-day Friday come up, and we'll do cigars and drinks on the patio over at the beer garden.
Perfect. And
sure,
then
but-
Saturday we'll come out here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Hot dog breakfast. Wash it down with some beverages here, and then maybe check out Swalback.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Schwalbacher.
Yeah. Schwalbacher. Sorry.
Yeah, the good people over there. But what's going on over at 7 Points? You got anything popping?
Oh man, comedy shows upstairs. They finally have the music
Stella's,
lounge. Yeah. Reusing the old Van Dyke name for the music lounge upstairs. Finally bringing jazz shows back and everything. They've got all sorts of stuff coming up. So yeah, it's been rocking, man.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Beer-wise, what you got going?
Beer-wise, Oktoberfest is coming up. It's just that time of year.
You gonna make a nice Mazden?
Yeah, it's in the tank, baby.
I like it.
You know, I was telling Rich earlier, I probably should have started it a couple of weeks prior. I mean, God, every beverage store is Oktoberfest and pumpkin beer just as soon as you walk in, and I'm just like, I'm late. Crap.
That's okay. I mean, there's a whole trend in craft right now for seasonal creep.
Yep.
Everyone wants to be the first pumpkin beer out of the first
Oh,
hour.
no, thank you.
God.
thank you.
I'm a firm believer that even when they come out this early, I cannot believe that they sell all that well. And I feel like I've had this experience in the tap room in years prior. I really feel like you have an eight-week window between September and Halloween to sell pumpkin beers. And God help you if you still have a surplus on November 1st, because you ain't getting rid of them, man.
Yeah.
People.
Can't give it away.
Yeah.
And,
Disgusting.
and a lot of your business is, on premise.
Yeah.
real time. You're making product for consumers who are coming into your place. You don't have the 2 or 3 weeks to get it through distribution to consumers. So
I would like it if they just fell off the face of the earth.
consumers,
That's how I feel about the pumpkin coffee.
Yeah, pumpkin, everything. I'm not a fan of pumpkin. I've never been a fan of pumpkin, and I apologize for those pumpkin lovers out there. I know that the crisp fall season and the pumpkin flavors and all that stuff, the allspice and the cinnamon and sugar, and I know that's all exciting, but that wears out quick because right around the corner from that is snow shoveling and.
Yeah.
I was telling Brian, I used to work at a larger brewery, and we would start producing pumpkin beers the first week of June.
No, thank you.
So, you drive in, get to work 8 o'clock in the morning, and the first brews would be coming out of the kettle, and you'd smell pumpkin beer.
I feel like Shipyard does that.
June 1st.
They have to. It's just it's a nature of the business. Like Rich was saying, distilleries are slow to get product out just because of the way that this process moves. Fermentation isn't quick. Once something's in the tank for beer, I mean, the yeast is in charge. I'm not in charge anymore. I'm just like Rich said, I'm the janitor at that point. I'm cleaning up all the mess that the yeast makes. So, but
We're putting whiskey away for 4 years.
yeah.
It's a different game of
Yeah, you got me beat by 3 weeks for sure there. But it's stuff, like I mentioned earlier, you have an idea in your head and to see it grain to glass, with something like seasonal beers, you really don't have a choice. I'm just thankful that people aren't too much of a stickler for the original Marzen style. I would have had to start this thing in March and kept it in a lager cave over the summer.
You should.
So
I think
you get me a lager cave and I will make you an authentic Marzen.
I'll just
okay?
dig a hole in my backyard.
Oh, perfect. All right, next to the crabapple tree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Underneath
The worst tasting cherries I've ever had.
Yes.
This is why I can't trust you, man.
This is the hottest cherry I've ever had in my life.
This isn't a cherry. This is a jalapeno pepper.
This isn't a miniature pumpkin. This is a habanero.
I think I said back in school that you don't get to pick your best selling product. Your consumers will tell you what that is. And I've seen breweries open up that we're going to make German style wheat beer. That's going to be our thing, and nobody cares.
Yeah.
We make a great bourbon. We came out with the vodkas. And now we can't make gin fast enough, which is a wonderful problem. Well, everything else is still selling well, but it really comes down to what the consumers want.
Yeah, your gin is it's big flavor, and nothing against any other spirits that you make. It's just that it's that good that it overshadows. It's you can have the best steakhouse in the world, but if your lobster's better, you're going to just be known as a seafood restaurant.
A wonderful problem.
Yeah.
As long as something's selling.
Absolutely.
So, what are you most excited to look forward to coming up here as time goes on?
Well, I'm looking forward to the fall, and there's a lot of different activities we can incorporate into
For sure.
into our tasting room. But I'm looking forward to changing up the menu. We're working on a fall menu. We want to do seasonal menus.
That's right. You guys make food too, right?
Well, no, I just even mean the cocktail menu.
Oh, okay.
We're going to change up the cocktail menu every season.
Yeah.
So that we can kind of incorporate more of the flavors of the season.
Sure.
And I'm also looking forward to definitely working on new gin products.
Nice. I'm looking forward to it.
We've got a old fashioned on the menu. You may see that come out as a something without simple syrup and something with some maple syrup in it. So
Nice.
there's
A fall,
some
yeah.
seasonal variations
Yeah.
that are going to be interesting.
Yeah, we have
Awesome.
a really fantastic cocktail with the green apple vodka.
Yeah.
It's a cider maple green apple
Oh wow.
cocktail.
Nice.
Yep.
Cider. That's
Yep.
exciting.
Yep.
Even if like you did like a spiked cider drink too would be pretty fun. But what's funny is my fiance, her parents.
Your wife.
Your wife.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my wife.
You introduced me to your wife last time I saw you.
Yeah. I'm wearing a wedding ring.
Yeah.
It doesn't. There's a certain order of operation there. I'm sorry. Yeah, my wife.
Yeah.
That's
Nick's
so-
got a wife, a fiance, and a girlfriend. Thank God they're all the same woman.
You know what's funny? And I could talk about all three of them in the same freaking conversation in one sentence.
What's the old toast from Master and Commander? To our wives and our sweethearts, and may they never meet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh,
Sorry, buddy.
her family owns a sugar shack, and they used to give syrup to Browns for one of their drinks or one of their beers, but Browns ended up getting too big, and they couldn't keep up with the production. But yeah, there's a lot of great local sugar shacks.
Well, there's other things we can do too. That we're not going to be making rum in New York
Yeah.
because nobody grows sugarcane. in
Yeah.
No, yeah.
and we're a farm. We're required to use 75% New York source materials, and we exceed that on all of our products at this point. But what is rum? It's fermented sugar.
Yeah. For sure. So the maple syrup.
Maple sugar. And there's a small region in Canada that makes a distilled spirit out of maple, and we can do our own variation on that.
Nice.
That could be something on the small still. That's a tasting room only to start and see where it goes.
Stacy, what's one thing that somebody who was to come here, you'd want them to know before they got here, or at least one takeaway when they do come to?
I guess try something new would probably be a lot of people will say, especially with the gin, that, they're just not a gin drinker, but when they try it, they love it.
They got to try it.
Yep.
Definitely. Even if it's a Bee's Knees, which is a classic old school pre-prohibition, drink. It's been around forever. Try one of those. Gin and tonic. Just the regular gin and tonic was phenomenal. And that's just gin and tonic. That's literally what it is.
Yeah, we like to really focus on the classic cocktails and then put our own little twist on them.
Nice.
I mean, even the classics already have their own little twist on them, just by the virtue of the unique ingredients that you have in there. Like for instance with the Dad's Garden gin.
Yeah.
That's already such a nice different taste
And a great story behind it too.
Yeah, it's neat.
Great inspiration behind an actual drink. I mean, how often do you hear that there's like true inspiration behind one particular beverage? Rich, what's one thing that you would want people to know?
We've been focused on opening this place for so long. We've tried to focus on every detail. We want things to be right. We want to make sure that when we start to bring more staff on, that they do things the way that we do. We're very picky about things. We joke, but we've been out to cocktail restaurants and distilleries, and we've sampled every kind of maraschino cherry to find the right maraschino cherry.
There you go.
Details like that we've really been focused on, and they seem to be appreciated so far. We want to keep focusing on that, and we want people to hopefully appreciate that.
Nice. Any parting thoughts? Anybody?
What's coming up for you?
What's coming up for me?
Yeah, you can't.
I told you, I
You
got
can't ask us and then not do your own here. I mean, come on.
I'm looking to launch a new company. Hopefully that.
Oh, here we go again. Never mind.
What you just asked.
Got him again, huh?
I love you, man. I'm sorry.
I look forward to helping Chris find a new head brewer after his goes missing.
You gonna run me off the highway tonight?
I would never do that.
I'm taking Route 5 home.
I'm taking
Throwing
67.
off the
It's all
side.
good. All right, so if that's it, I think this one's going to go down in the books. We had some great cocktails. Thank you so much for having us here. I do apologize for... I'm going to chalk it up to the pain that I'm having in my lower back, that I have not been the most clear-headed, but hopefully people still enjoyed this, and I hope you guys had fun.
We had a great time. Thank
It
you. for
was a
coming
lot
out.
of fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, man. Thank you.
Between technical difficulties and my brain not working, I just...
Waiting for Give bringing Brian.
Yeah, that's why I brought Brian.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, I'm used to it. So
So...
you invited me, man. Come on.
I know, I want you here.
No, I just figured I was, you had me fill in for Dave because you already had a big bearded gentleman
Yeah.
here. So we didn't need Dave because we're here with Rich. So
Yeah, well, my original thought process was I was supposed to do a podcast last week with Dave, and I knew he wasn't going to want to do back-to-back days. So I gotta text him and see if he's going to be good to go to Indian Ladder for our next one. If not, it's just going to be me and Jess, or if you're available.
just give me 2 hours heads up.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. And when was it again that you were going to propose?
I hate you.